The wind was soft that morning. The sky was wide and blue with tiny clouds floating like boats on a calm sea. Trees stood tall and still, like quiet guards watching over the small town of Masonville, Virginia. The smell of fresh coffee and hot toast came from kitchen windows. Cars rolled slowly on the streets. Children with bright backpacks waited at bus stops. Life was moving, gently and peacefully. In the heart of this quiet town lived a boy named Eli. He was 23 years old, tall and slim, with kind eyes and curly hair. Eli worked at the local library, a small brick building with green doors and a big flag outside. He loved books, especially books about faraway places. But there was one question that Eli could never answer, no matter how many books he read. Why is the USA so rich? He whispered to himself one night, sitting under a tree behind the library. Other countries work hard too, so why us? That question stayed in his mind like a song you hear and can't forget. It followed him into dreams, into breakfast, into quiet afternoons at the checkout desk. His grandma, Miss Ruth, often told him, "Baby, if you want to know something deep, you gotta look at the ground, the sky, and the hands of people." Eli didn't understand what that meant, but he wanted to. He wanted to find the truth, not the short answer in the textbook, but the real story, the long story, the story that lived inside people's hearts. One Friday evening, something strange happened. A man came into the library right before closing. He wore a long coat and had a voice like the sound of a train in the distance, strong and full of power. His name was Mr. Harris. He said he used to teach history, but now he just wandered from town to town. "I heard you've been asking a big question," Mr. Harris said, smiling with one eyebrow raised. Eli froze. "How do you know?" "Because I asked it too, years ago. And the answer, well, it's a long story," Mr. Harris said, placing an old leather notebook on the table. "You ready for a journey?" Eli nodded slowly. "Then pack your mind and open your ears. This ain't just about money. It's about people, about soil, about time." And so it began. Many years ago, long before Eli was born, before cell phones, before the internet, the USA was a young country. It had just broken away from England. It was strong in spirit, but not in riches. There were farms and forests, mountains and rivers, but no big buildings, no fast cars, no bold cities. Then came the workers, people from Ireland, from Italy, from Africa, from China. They brought hands, they brought hope. Some came free, some came in chains, but they built. They worked the land, dug railroads, raised homes, made tools, sang songs. Their sweat mixed with the soil, their pain echoed in the trees, but they kept building. "The USA didn't grow rich by accident," Mr. Harris said. "It grew because it never stopped moving. It learned to turn pain into power. It learned to take mistakes and build schools, bridges, companies." Eli leaned closer. "But what about now? Why is it still rich?" Mr. Harris chuckled. "Ah, you're thinking smart. See, a country is like a person. It can be strong outside, but weak inside, or rich in money, but poor in love. The USA has been both, but it keeps learning. It keeps asking questions. He pulled a photo from his coat. It showed a huge farm in Iowa. Machines, cornfields, blue skies. Food, that's one reason, he said. America feeds not just itself, but other countries too. Big farms, fast machines, smart systems. Then another photo, New York City at night. Business, that's another. People start companies like planting seeds. Some grow tall, like trees. Amazon, Apple, Google. Then another, a group of students in a science lab. Education, that's the brain. Colleges like MIT and Stanford, they make ideas. Ideas become things. Things become money. Eli's eyes were wide. So the USA got rich by farming, building, learning? Yes, and also by dreaming, Mr. Harris said. We went to the moon. We made planes, trains, computers. We believed we could. But other countries dream too, Eli said. They do, Mr. Harris nodded. But America had something else too. Space, big land, and freedom. The freedom to try, to fail, to start again. Outside, the wind had changed. It was blowing harder now, as if it wanted to carry the story further. There's more, Mr. Harris said. Do you know about World War II? Eli nodded. A little. After that war, America was left standing, stronger than most. Other countries were rebuilding, but the USA had factories ready, people ready, money ready. That made a big difference. Eli felt something strange, like he was inside a movie, not just listening to a story. But here's a twist, Mr. Harris said, lowering his voice. Riches bring problems too. Some people get too much. Some get too little. Some lose their way. Eli thought about the small house he lived in with his grandma. They were not poor, but they were not rich. He thought about people sleeping under bridges, about the price of gas, about kids who couldn't go to college. So, is it fair, he asked. Mr. Harris looked out the window. Fair? That's a big word. Sometimes yes, sometimes no. But the story isn't done. That's why you matter. That's why your question matters. Then he handed Eli the notebook. Inside this are names, maths, clues. Each one will take you deeper. Eli opened it slowly. On the first page was a name, Monica Bell, Detroit, Michigan. Former car factory worker. Below it were two words, ask her. Eli looked up, but Mr. Harris was gone. Vanished like a dream when the sun rises. A library lights flickered off. Eli walked home under a sky full of stars. But something inside him had changed. The story had begun, and he was not just reading it. He was inside it. The next morning, Eli told his grandma everything. Miss Ruth just smiled and said, Baby, now you're looking at the hands. With a little money in his pocket and the notebook in his bag, Eli took a bus to Detroit. The city was wide and full of metal, like a song made of machines. He found Monica Bell living in a small apartment above a barber shop. She opened the door with careful eyes. You here to ask about the factory? She said before he even spoke. Yes, Eli said, and about the country. Monica laughed. Well, child, you better sit down. This might take a while. She told him about the old days, about big factories making cars, how workers lined up like soldiers, how smoke rose from chimneys like angry clouds. We made Ford, GM, Chrysler, she said proudly. Detroit was the heart. America was the body. But then, she said softly, the heart got tired. Some jobs went away. Machines took over. Some folks left. Some stayed. But why did the jobs go away? Eli asked. Money, she said. Companies wanted to save it. So they moved to places where people worked for less. Other countries, far away. So the same dream that made the USA rich, Eli started, can also shake its bones, Monica finished. Eli wrote in his notebook, strength brings shadows. Monica gave him a name too, Calvin Rodriguez, Austin, Texas, tech startup owner. And just like that, the story kept going. Every city brought a new voice. Every voice added color to the truth. Eli met rich people, poor people, kind people, broken people. He learned about credit, about war, about oil, about freedom. He saw both beauty and pain. And through it all, he kept asking, why is the USA so rich? And the answer kept growing. It wasn't just one thing. It was many things tied together. Like stars in a big sky, like notes in a long psalm. But this story, Eli's journey, is not done. It's only just begun.